Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here. I'm doing an unboxing for my GoPro accessories. I bought a thing off of eBay. It's like the 16-in-1 or something like that type of setup. I got my GoPro right here, so I'll probably just be sitting it on, adjusting some of the items and doing some stuff like that. Now, for those of you who haven't checked out my last couple of videos, I have the GoPro Hero 4 Session. I'll take out of here. It's this tiny little cube. That's all it is. It's just this little cube. It shoots up to 2 hours continuous. It has up to 1440p at, I want to say, 30 frames per second. I think it's the maximum for that, but you can do like 1080p at 60 frames per second. They have 1080p Super View, 720p up to 100 frames per second. 720p Super View goes up to, I believe, only 30 frames per second, or maybe 48 or something like that. But it's got a ton of different settings. It's got something else that goes up to like 960. It's like 960p, which I'd never even heard of. So that's of course between 720 and 1080. But I like this little thing. I've been testing it out just a little bit. Of course, I had to get the accessories for it to really get into some of the other stuff that I wanted to do. I only, at this point, because I bought the bundle, all I really have is this. Like, this is all I have, which is just a little, it's like a floating handle, so if it's in the water or something, it floats. Other than that, I have, like, the little mounts that you put on surfaces and stuff like that, and I have this little mount if I want to keep it, which I'm going to keep this just because it's an actual flat mount. If I want to just put it somewhere on, like, any random, flat surface, I can actually do that if I want to. But I'm going to get into this box. It comes with pretty much all this stuff. So I'm going to have the, the head mount, chest mount, even the wrist mount, stuff like that. I believe I get one of the little octopus tripod things, like the really bendy tripods. I think another floating piece, like the completely yellow, like this is the simple one, but they have like a bigger one that's like actually yellow, so if you're in the water, the open water, it's a lot harder for you to lose it. And I think some more mounts and stuff, more like helmet mounts and things like that as well. So we'll check it out, get into it, and see what I can do, or what I'm going to be utilizing in the future. Oh, cool. So it all comes in this very nice case, which I didn't realize. I completely forgot about that. Plus, I have that giant box out of here. I have the monopod, which is basically like a selfie stick, but for the GoPro. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually excited to use this. I think this could be really useful in a lot of situations, getting very different angles and stuff. Considering, like I said, it goes up to 1080p. You can actually get some really good angles and have normal shots like with this camera, but from totally different angles. So I'll open this up first, since it's the only thing that's separated. Is like, let's throw in all these accessories and just throw this in just to throw it in, I guess. So let's get this bad boy out of here. So this is nice and simple. I love the design for this, like how simple it is. It also has, oh, that's cool, you can twist it to screw it. It has, it doesn't exactly have like a GoPro thing on it, but it has like a normal, I think they call it a quarter screw or something like that. So like I could technically screw this into that camera. I could never hold, I'm sure that my big DSLR camera would like snap this thing, but it seems like it could hold it. It extends fairly far. So if you want, I'd have to like back all the way up. So it extends pretty far. Like this thing, like that's on it touching the wall, and it's only like, not even a full foot away from the camera. So it extends fairly far, so that's nice. And you can see all the different layers, like right here, they all kind of stack up like a pyramid, so that's actually kind of cool. But nice simple design for that. You can actually, it has like a little wheel right here, so you can actually screw it in manually instead of having to do like the manual twist both things at the same time. You just turn the little wheel right here, and I actually love that because sometimes it's just a hassle like putting stuff on like the camera. Like I have like little handlebars so I can get like steady shots, and sometimes it's a hassle. Like I think I have it in there, so I like switch positions, and as I'm switching it, it falls out, and I'm like, crap, I thought I had it in far enough so that I could turn it and then finish it off. I was like, nope, not even halfway there. So we're gonna get into our GoPro case, and here accessories kind of just thrown in at once, but to go through them, let's see what we have here. So definitely a couple more screws, lots of different sort of mounts and stuff like that. So I'll take these out actually. So this is like a really simple one. This is just kind of, this is actually akin to this one. I believe it's almost the exact same thing. Yeah, so this is, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing. So this is like just like a flat mount. Yeah, I don't have my autofocus on because it acts really weird in this room. But it's just a flat mount, so it's just, you know, you put it into, or it's not the mount, I guess it's, I don't know exactly what they call these, but it's just a little connector piece that actually goes into this. So, just like the, it's the exact same thing. Just like this piece which came with it that you detach when you first get your GoPro. It's the exact same thing. You just squeeze the sides and you just push it right out. So, it's just a connector piece for the actual mounts. I'll put this one back actually. It doesn't look as cool with the little rubber stopper on the top like GoPro has it, because they have this little thing. That way you can't actually squeeze it in unless you lift the rubber tab up. But odds are that's not something that'll happen accidentally anyway, so not really an issue as far as I'm concerned. So that's one of the nice little elements that we have. Here is the sort of octopus tripod here. And this is one of the things I was actually looking forward to getting, honestly, because I've wanted one of these for a while, and it's because you can do stuff like that. You know, it's hard to see because it's all black, but you can twist it in all sorts of different crazy positions and stuff like that, and you know, it just keeps going. Like, that's just like a little corkscrew, you know. So that's why I really wanted one of these for a while. This has the same thing where it's like a little plate on it and stuff like that. So I'm assuming somewhere in here it's just a flat out attachment to put everything from the GoPro just right on here. If not, I'm going to have to buy one, but that's pretty nice. And this isn't super loose either. Like, you have to actually, you know, really work to pull this thing apart. So that's nice. It's all in ball joint, so it moves like that, kind of like an action figure if you have action figures. So it's in a ball joint, and it bends and stuff like that in all the different positions. So that I really love. This was one of the things I was really looking forward to getting, just because you can put it in so many crazy positions. So I'm definitely satisfied with that. So just because it's here, it's hard to miss. This is just a floaty thing. Like, all you do is attach it, and you can basically just drop it in water. Like, it's just made for it to just float in the water, and that's it. It even has like a sky blue tag to make it even easier. If it's somehow hard to miss this, you even have a sky blue tag on it to catch it in the water. So that's pretty cool. This is one that I'm really excited to test out. But this is the it's a clamp mount. So just clamp it on something. This thing is actually really hard to open up. I gotta use like both my fingers, both my thumbs, because one thumb is just not powerful enough. So such a little clamp mount here. Looks like an iguana if you do that. Like a horned iguana. But I like this. Very powerful for sure. But this is cool. Like, you can just clamp it, boom. It's like on the table. This is another way to get like a straight on edge or something, because it'll just, of course, like clamp onto whatever. And then it's just, you know, whatever angle that thing is at that you're clamped on, that's the angle you'll have, and it'll be, you know, fairly straight on. So that's another good way to get a nice straight angle. This also has its own little screw to go with it. Like, everything has its own screws, as does the actual, the camera itself came with this screw as well. So I've got screws like crazy. Even if I lose one, it's like, well, I'll just transfer it to the next item, and that'll have a screw on it. You know, they're all, the screws are universal. They're like exactly the same. So it's just one of these little things. Like, it's just a screw, and you just twist it left, right, you're done. So there's that. That's pretty good. Let's go through here. We got the random fresh packets. I guess that's what this is supposed to be for some reason. This needs it, but that's in there. What is this? Like a tiny little, like a little disc here. I guess this is supposed to be like, I guess a hanging mount. I guess that's all I can think of, honestly. It's just a tiny little disc. Like the tape, this right here is tape actually, or basically tape. Because once you take it off, it's got the adhesive, so you can put this on like any surface. And it has this little bit of string that goes through here. And my guess is that you put it on a surface, and then you would just hang the camera from it. That's all, honestly, all I can think of. Because it has, for the frame, it has these little holes in it, which I don't think will show. Yeah, those little holes that you can see through it right there. So all I can think of is that you would like stick this to like the ceiling or something, and then just have the camera like hang down or something. That's honestly all I could think of for this. I'm sure it has an actual, you know, legitimate purpose that I just have no idea about at this point. But I like that idea that at some point, if I want to, I can have like sort of a swinging view, you know, kind of having it going back and forth if I want to. So that's still pretty cool. Find some use for that for sure. Stuff that in there. Try to make sure I don't lose that cord, because I'm assuming it's made strong enough to actually hold the camera. Let's see what else we got. I'll go with the top parts up here. So got more little mounts. There's just a little, yep, so this is the plate mount, the little screw mount that I was talking about, where I figured this was going to be in here, but this just attaches to an actual screw. So this is nice for the, or this is actually necessary for the octopus thing, and also the monopod, because like I said, it has like the 3/4 screw or half screw, whatever the heck they call it. So that's what this is for. This is also very useful if I want to put my GoPro on the tripod that I'm currently using, because I didn't have one of these before. I can just twist this down and it'll just sit right on my tripod exactly where this camera's sitting. So I might start doing that, because it'll actually help me out. I can do certain videos with it, just sitting it straight up if I, once again, want a nice flat surface. Boom, just stick it right on the tripod and now I have it. It'll look really weird because I have like this big camera on here, and then I have this itty bitty little thing. Like, this thing is so small. Like, I mean, I can cover up the actual lens with it, but it's still within the circle. Even when I push it up against, there's still a bit of space around the edge that I can see. Like, you guys can't see it because it covers up the actual portion of the lens, but I can still see the rest of the circle. That's how small that is. So it would look hilarious to put, you know, going from my DSLR camera to my tiny little GoPro camera on my tripod. It would just be this little cube on like this giant tripod. But I can do that now, so that's actually really great. I have, oh, I didn't even know this was in here. This is actually really nice. I believe that's what this is. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I thought I knew what this was, but this is like a little floaty. So I believe I can put a mount on this if I want to, and put the GoPro on top of the mount, and it'll float across the water. I thought, because GoPro actually has one where you can put the camera inside the floaty and it'll float. That's what I thought this was at first, because like in this case, if something happens and it flips upside down, the camera will be upside down in the water, and then it'll just be floating like that instead of always floating straight up. So it's still awesome if I want to have the camera floating, because of course if you put it in the water, it'll just drop to the bottom. But now that I have this, I can at least, you know, work around that a little bit, you know, as long as it's not too crazy and it doesn't, you know, like flip over and stuff. So that is actually really cool. I had no idea that this was in here. I knew there would be some things that I wasn't 100% aware of. That's the screw mount. Get down into some of these other things here. This is like just a little latch, so that's for, I guess, some of the other components to hook them up and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is a flat, it looks flat. Yeah, so this is a flat mount. It's just to put on a flat surface. Like, there's not much explanation for that. This is another latch. So this, I believe, I could use for, like, this would be like the wrist mount and stuff like that. And I won't take it out just because, like I said, it's kind of the same thing. What we got here? Oh no, this is the wrist mount. So I'll actually take this one out. So this, it would take me a minute, so I actually won't bother going through the whole process. But this is a full-on wrist mount. So just put it on your wrist. This actually spins, which I did not realize, so you can actually spin it around. Yep, you can lock it too. I just have to figure out how to do that. I don't know if you pull this out or push it in or what. Oh, yep. Yep, okay, so that's good. So you push it in and it'll lock it, and then on the other side here, it's the same lever, it just goes all the way through. You push it out the other way. I kind of have to use my fingernail to do it, but then it goes 360 degrees, so you can screw it in, twist it out. You know, if you want to have it facing up towards you while your arm is down, you can twist it and turn it that way. If, of course, you want to have it faced outward or even to your left or to the right or something like that, you can do that. And then once you have it set, just push the little button on the side here, and it's locked in place. I have to like snap it in. I really have to use my fingernail to do it, but snaps it into place, and then you have a nice little wrist mount. So that's actually great, and that's probably what the other little latch is for, like if you need to expand it or, you know, hanging around anything else. It doesn't have to be your wrist. You can technically put it around whatever. You can latch it around and tighten it up that way. So that's pretty cool. And that was one of the things I was excited for. One of the other things that I was really excited for is and this is actually really big. This is the chest piece. So no explanation needed there. It's a whole chest piece to put on your chest. Like that's what it's for. It expands. This actually unlatches to make it even easier to put on. You know, put around your front. It does have like actual like the arm pads and stuff, or arm straps, so you can actually put your arms through it, and it's like definitely snug on you. So that's really good. I'm excited to use that one, and the other one that I'm really excited to use is the head mount. And I'll actually put this one up here. I'll put that back later. Let's see, is this the head mount? One of these is the head mount, I believe. Yes, we got that. So this one we got. Yeah, so this should be the head mount. Yeah, this is the head mount right here. So same thing, pretty simple as just as simple as the chest mount. This has a nice little it's got a really thin little leather strip. I don't know how well that'll like that reflective light you see like right here. That's a little tiny leather strip like right in the middle, or it might not exactly be leather, but it's like a nice little. It's a different fabric. It's not the same fabric, so it kind of keeps it steady from like slipping and sliding as you're like sweating like crazy if you're running with it or something like that. So that's nice. Once again, adjustable, of course, so you can stretch it out if your head is big like mine. You can stretch it out if you got like I don't know why you put it on a baby, but a baby with a really big head, you know, do that as well. So that's the head mount, chest mount. This is yet another thing that I'm really excited to test out, and this is actually get it out of here. This is actually the suction cup mount. I didn't realize this was a suction cup. I thought this was going to be an adhesive thing. I thought it would be like I have to stick it in my car and that's pretty much it. But this is actually a suction cup, so that makes it even cooler. And I believe, yeah, so that's nice. So this little lever, because I was always wondering like how much suction is it going to get? This lever is to actually like suck in air. So that's actually really good. I don't have like a... So want to put it on your hoverboard and stuff like that. You can't turn it like this, so you have to. Oh yes, you can technically turn it on top of the plastic, but I probably wouldn't advise that. But that's how you do that, and you can wiggle it off. Oh well, it has a little tab on the front. That's actually perfect. That's really simple. It's got this the little tab on the front that you can see like right on the left side, like right here. So that's what that's for, but you just stick it down. It already has like a little bit of suction just from like a normal suction cup. So stick it down and then just close it down on there, and it kind of sucks all the air out. Boom, you got yourself a nice little, well, if you're actually skateboarding, you probably wouldn't put this on there. You'd probably put a much smaller mount. But if you happen to have really tiny feet, once again, if you're like a little kid or something like that, that's the way to do that. So glad I have my hoverboard here to test that out. But this is awesome. So, you know, put it on a nice surface, stick it on there, suck the air right out. I can even feel the air getting sucked out when I actually pull the lever down over my hand. I can feel it like kind of squeezing out the last bit of air so that it can get all the suction that it can. So that's really great. Because that was, like I said, that was like the one thing I was worried about, like how much suction can it get? Because if you want to do what a ton of people do. Like, you go to car shows. Like, I'm in Michigan, so I go to the Wilbur Dream Cruise every year, and you see people all the time that have the GoPros. This also turns, by the way, so you can have this go like left to right and stuff like that. But you know, tons of people will have like their GoPros on top of the car. They just, you know, have it on there, and I always used to think about that, like how, like, I know it's made obviously to like have suction on the cars, but I always think about that. But it makes a lot of sense now. You stick it on, and it even has a lever to make sure it's compressed 100%. So that's really good. I don't know if you'd have to look up some stats or anything like that as far as exactly how fast you can go, or if it doesn't actually matter, as long as you're not going like the speed of a rocket or something crazy like that. But that's pretty good. Yeah, so you can get your phone if you wanted to, and then just boom, use a little lever, pops right off. So that's really good. I like that one. These are just some more screws and different types of mounts and stuff like that. So not much to, you know, really show off here, but I like this. This is a nice little set. If any of you are interested in getting this, honestly, you can just go on eBay and look for GoPro accessories. I think I paid like 20 bucks for this. So I think you can find one even cheaper than that, and it specifically says like, oh, it's 26 in one for like 15 bucks. So you can definitely save money. So I won't put the link to the one I bought, because you can find one cheaper, but it's all the same thing. It'll be like it's 26 in one or 32 in one. It's all kind of the same stuff. I think you just end up getting like more mounts, because I think the big stuff is really what you're looking for. If you're like me, you want to make sure you get the head mount, the car mount. Some of them might not have the monopod, or maybe like the octopus tripod and stuff like that. Some things might be missing, so just look at the pictures. And I would personally say really consider what items you need specifically. Like, I didn't really need this one, because technically this does the same thing. This, I'm sure, would float a little bit better, because not only is it bigger, but it's made differently. It's made to have that sort of airtight quality to it, to make it more buoyant. And this like has like the little foam around it, so I'm sure it won't be as buoyant. It just floats. So I think this, you know, it's a little different. Like, this floats. This is like, this will stay above the surface like a boat or something like that. So it's still a little different. So it still has a purpose, even if I have the other floaty. But that's what I would recommend. Just looking at the different stuff, exactly what you want. Like the little clip mount, the wrist mount, the octopus tripod, chest mount, head mount, stuff like that, and car mount. So that's how I'd recommend looking it all up. You might not always get a fancy case. I didn't even realize I would get a case, so that makes it good though, because it's, as you saw, it's a ton of stuff to kind of have packed in. So that definitely works in my favor. But I like this. I think it's a really good purchase. Like I said, I only paid like 20 bucks, which even that I still feel is a fair purchase. If you go online and look up like GoPro stuff separately. But I think this is really good. Of course, if you guys have any comments about any of the items, or anything you guys want to see me doing some random videos using the items, as far as quality checks for you guys, just let me know and I'll test them out, because I want to test them for myself anyway. So please put any comments you guys have down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.